Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Daniel Bushis. In this month's free training, I'm going to cover something that is quite possibly the most important topic that I've covered thus far this year. It is critical to the success and scalability of your Infusionsoft CRM. And even though this topic might sound a little bit boring, I promise you it's crucial to your success and your scalability. And I promise also that I will do my best not to get too deep into the weeds and technical. And so, without further ado, the topic is Infusionsoft campaign categorization strategy or protocol and tag categorization protocol. And so what I mean by that is the way that you name your campaigns and tags, the way that you organize both your campaigns and tags, in the syntax or the order of word placement in your naming of the campaign tags and the categories. All of that is crucial to creating a scalable, structured framework for all of your campaigns inside of Infusionsoft and all of your tags. So if you don't have something like that, I would urge you to pay attention. We're going to move kind of fast through this stuff, but I promise you I will go deep enough that I'm not going to lose you, but you'll get the gist of everything. And the great thing and the benefit to you when you walk away from this training is that you should be able to build this and do this yourself. I've actually heard, and I'll back up for a second here. I've worked in Infusionsoft for since 2007, and so, gosh, as of today's date, that's almost 10 years. So about 9 years and some months. And I'm guilty to this too, folks, that I've used all kinds of different naming conventions for tags and tag categories, and same thing with campaigns. And to be honest with you, nothing really quite made sense, and I really never had a proven format or protocol to use it again and again. And I've gone through literally hundreds, almost probably 1,000 different clients' Infusionsoft campaigns over the last years. And I've seen the same thing, is no one quite has a perfect strategy to do that. And I will give credit, there are companies out there currently that do have structured naming conventions and things like that. And nothing against them at all. I've worked in those different ones, and hat tip to them. It works. But in my personal opinion, you shouldn't need to decipher some kind of codes and numbers and all that stuff. I just don't think that it's friendly or scalable to the entire population of Infusionsoft application owners. And so I thought there was a vacuum that we needed to create something, or someone needed to create a protocol and give it to the world for free that's easily implementable and easily you can easily follow it at any expert at any level of expertise. And so that's what I did. I created that, and hopefully you'll find this useful. So with that being said, if you'll allow me to do so, what I'd like to do is go ahead and I'm going to do a shameless plug real quick for those of you who haven't heard of me. My name's Daniel Bushis. I am an Infusionsoft certified partner. I am also a digital marketer certified partner. I'm the CEO of In the Mix Promotions. It's a marketing agency that's been in business since 1998. And I also own Daniel Bushis Consulting. The difference between the marketing agency that I own, In the Mix Promotions, and Daniel Bushis Consulting is simply that Daniel Bushis Consulting offers one-on-one consulting services for CEOs and business owners. I've run Daniel Bush's Consulting since 2007. And if there's anything I can ever do for you, by all means, reach out to me. I'd love to see if I can help you. And without any more of self-plugging, let's get into the training, if you'll allow me to do so. So I always write a blog post, and the blog post is always attached to the video training. So if you're listening to the video training, you can also follow along. You can follow along with the training via the blog. If you have further questions, in the very end, I will cover what to do with your questions, because I'd love to be able to help you. And that being said, so let's get into this. Let's get into the training. I'm just going to close out one thing real quick on my other monitor. All right. So I think it's important to understand very first, before we get into the campaign builder and all this fancy stuff, the specific protocol of how you should start to follow naming conventions and order of word placement. And so we'll go through a couple examples real fast. And so the first one is here. And what we're going to cover is we're going to cover the word syntax. And for those of you who don't know what the word syntax means, that's quite all right. It's used quite frequently in build out, technical build out. And what the syntax is the order of words and how they come in a numerical fashion, right? So for here, right here, where I've got an example of right here, the dog bit the boy. So the syntax is the dog comes before the other words. And so it's important that you understand that syntax, or order of words, is crucial, and especially crucial when you're creating a protocol or a guideline that should always be followed. And the reason why is, for you and I, for this syntax of words right here, the dog bit the boy, okay, we understand. That makes sense to us, right? But if we weren't to follow proper syntax, right, and we were to rearrange the words, we would then get a sentence something like this: the boy bit the dog. Well, that also we can understand, but it doesn't make sense. I don't know about you, but I don't know, well, maybe I know a couple people that are crazy enough that they'd go around biting dogs. But without that, with joking aside, you get the gist here, is that the way that you place words in order affects the comprehension or the understanding of what you're trying to state, or the meaning of that, okay? And so syntax is crucial for setting up a campaign categorization strategy, as well as a tagging strategy. Okay, so we got to start understanding the basics, and that's the first one. And then there's one other that we should cover too, is naming conventions. So for all purposes for us, a naming convention is an order of words and how we're going to label them. And obviously then the syntax, the order that they come in. And what I mean by that is here, I've given an example. For the description here, the example of boats, what we're going to have is a naming convention of a functional purpose, and then following that will be a type of transportation. And so we've got here a fishing. Fishing is a functional purpose, and then the type of transportation is a boat. Okay, sail boat, luxury boat, row boat. And so obviously row is the functional purpose, and the type of transportation is boat. And so you can see the importance of how we use that on a regular basis in our English language, and how by having a naming convention and having a syntax, that it enables us to be able to communicate with people across the world, and instantly they understand what we're talking about, or what that item is that we're talking about. And so I'm sure that you would understand and agree with me that, a rowboat is completely a different thing than a fishing boat. And the fact that we take it for granted that in the English language, at a young age, we were taught naming conventions and syntax and all those kind of things. So we don't even really think about it. But if you start to think about it, this protocol is set and ingrained into how we communicate, and it's something that should be set and ingrained with how we set up our CRM system. And one other example, in case it would be beneficial, would be if you think about doctors, or for our purpose, let's say surgeons, right? So a neurosurgeon is a completely different surgeon from a pediatric surgeon, right? Or an orthopedic surgeon, I guess I should say. So you can understand that the naming conventions are completely different, or the purposes for that using the naming conventions explain in detail a completely different thing. Okay, all right, real quick. So in the training, if you haven't already done so, I am providing a free PDF. Of course, if you just put your name and email address, and you will get added to my email list, which I give a free training every month. I promise you I don't spam you. So if you want something like that, I would strongly encourage you to do so. And the reason being is the PDF that I've set up, I think right here, and I've just brought it into the screen, is going to be crucial for you, because not only can you print it out, but you can save it as a digital version, and it walks you through everything that you're going to want to have as a guideline if you are going to implement this. So pretty useful. Okay, all right. So we're going to get into now the actual setup of how we're going to organize our campaign builder. Okay, and so we're going to do so by setting up specific campaign categories that should work universally for any kind of Infusionsoft CRM application that you're using. And what I'm going to actually do is, instead of scrolling through now on my blog post, I'm going to actually go into my PowerPoint for you, so we can actually take a closer look at this. And so I've got here, and I'm going to zoom in. There we go, campaign categories. Okay, so the campaign categories, these are going to be the names of the categories that we're going to have inside of your campaign builder. Now, this recording, Infusionsoft has not enabled us by ourselves to categorize our campaigns inside of Campaign Builder. Now, Infusionsoft Certified Partner Conference is coming up in just 2 weeks. And so hopefully that's something that, a bunch of certified partners have been asking for this for a long time, and hopefully that's something that they will roll out in their partner wow factor that they do at the end of the conference. Who knows? Either way, this is something that even if in the future that they set up the ability to organize campaigns by categories, you're still going to need a structure, so this still is going to be relevant. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover each of the campaign categories, and then I'm going to give you a description for those, and then what I'll do is I'll go a little bit deeper, and then I will actually show you real life examples. Okay, so campaign category, I've got in the very beginning here, you'll see oops, of course, there we go. I already went too far ahead. Okay, you'll see the prefix right here of A, prefix B, and prefix C. And the prefix A is actually designed for campaigns that are associated to funnels. And I'm going to come back to the A, B, and C after I cover all the others, because I don't know if you're listening to this at what level of knowledge you have for funnels. So I don't want to get too involved with funnels yet and then have you scratching your head and lose you through the rest of the campaign category tutorial. So let's table the A, B, and C for now, but just what I want you to know is that's a prefix. So that actually will come before the other campaign category names. I promise you I'll come back to this in just a moment. So let's get to global. So global is a campaign category name that I want you to use, and I want you to use it for global operations in your application. And a couple examples might be contact us web forms. So if you've got your Infusionsoft web forms attached to your website for your contact us pages, well, that, for all intents and purposes, can fall under the global category of your campaigns. Other ones, if you have certain integrations that just require HTTP posts because there's API integrations, and all that's in that campaign is HTTP posts, then that would sit under a global campaign category. Also, indoctrination sequence. If you set up your indoctrination sequence like I set it up, it's a global campaign. Anytime anyone comes into your world, no matter how they've come in, they will go through that indoctrination sequence, and therefore that campaign should fall under the category of global. The next one is holiday. The holiday campaign categorization is for campaigns that are holiday specific. Examples might be birthday campaigns, anniversary campaigns, New Year's campaigns. It could be Black Friday campaigns, very specific. And what you'll find with the holiday campaigns is they're usually campaigns that you really don't need to change that much, and they recycle and they're reused, and they're specific to a holiday, right? So they shouldn't have to fall into any other world of sales or something else. They can sit in their own little category. The next category is marketing. And these are campaigns focused solely on marketing and promotional purposes. And I don't want you to get marketing confused with sales, okay? A sales campaign is selling. It is a full-blown selling campaign. A marketing campaign is more about awareness. It's about evaluation. It's about trial. It's about getting them to be engaged with a product or to take some kind of action. But it is not a sales campaign. And I'll give you an example of a sales campaign in a moment. But I wanted to cover the example of marketing first. The next campaign category is nurture. And these nurture campaigns, at least for me, there's not a lot that live in there, but I do think that they should be separate. And the only two examples I can really give you would be long-term nurture campaigns. And for those of you that set up newsletter campaigns that are designed inside of Campaign Builder, those kind of campaigns would live under the campaign category of nurture. The next campaign category we have is product. And product campaign categories are used for delivery of products and services. So if you have a campaign, and I think you should have campaigns separated for all of your products that actually do delivery. And the delivery, what I mean by that is an email. Hey, thank you for purchasing this product. Here is your login access, or here is your digital file, or here's how to use this product. Or here's course 1, and in the next 4 days, I'm going to give you a new course every single day. Those all should fall and live under the category of product. The next category is rapport, and rapport campaigns should be customer service campaigns, NPS survey campaigns, also known as Net Promoter Score surveys, any kind of social media campaigns, or testimonial request campaigns. All those kind of campaigns where you're trying to build a relationship or get feedback to basically create rapport with your customer or your leads, they should fall under the rapport category. And now getting to the sales campaigns, or I should say the category of sales campaigns. These are campaigns, like I'd said earlier, that are specifically selling. So a really good example of this would be a product launch campaign that's full-blown selling, right? That's a sales campaign. If you've got sales reps in which they've got their own little campaigns in which they can be launching based off of certain things or automation, then those sales campaigns should be sitting in there under your sales category. Training. You guys probably, a lot of you won't use the training category, and that's completely okay. And, I don't want you to feel like you have to have all the campaign categories. If you've got, if you don't have, I should say, campaigns that fall in any of these categories, that's okay, by the way. Not all of you will have that. And actually, some of you might have other categories that you need to create that mine don't cover. So this is a little bit of a flexible system, but I want you to get the basics down. So for me, I'm a consultant. I create trainings like the one you're listening to right now. And so for me, the campaigns that are associated with trainings, I have those sitting inside the category of training. Now for you, if you're a business owner and you have staff, a lot of people find that it's actually, you can automate an entire new hire training inside of Campaign Builder with Infusionsoft. It's actually really powerful. And so if you want to set up a training where, hey, when I hire a new virtual assistant, the first thing I want them to do is I want them to watch this training video, and then I want them to sign off on this paperwork, and then I want them to read this thing about how they need to engage with me as the manager for them. You can automate all that inside of a campaign, and that could be a training, and that could be a staff training. And so if you're going to use staff training or internal trainings or even client side specific trainings, then those can fall under the category of training. And then Vault. Vault is a campaign category specifically for campaigns that you no longer are using but you do not want to delete, or campaigns that are halfway built or not finished to be built, but you still want to keep them. So Infusionsoft certified partners can publish campaigns into client applications, and sometimes you might go in and also into the marketplace, and you might download an app. You might download a campaign, but it's not turned on yet. Well, it needs to be categorized. And in my opinion, it shouldn't have a bunch of Z's in front of it. That doesn't really say anything. And so I don't think that's a good strategy. I think it should actually have a name, and it should be the Vault. And so retired campaigns, inactive campaigns, campaigns that are halfway built, those all should be categorized under Vault. And so you're going to notice a couple things in my campaign category names. You'll notice that they're all caps. That's purposefully done. And it's for you to be able to easily identify your campaign names. The second thing you'll notice is that the first letter in each campaign name, or campaign category name, I should say, you'll notice that it's the only letter under that name. So global campaign category, there's no other name, campaign category name that starts with the letter G. I've also designed that specifically and purposefully to do so. And I'll show you why, because what it's going to enable us to do is to beautifully and easily organize and categorize all of our campaigns based off of the alphabetical order and based off of the category that they fall under. So I think you're going to find it's going to be pretty powerful. Okay, so let's get into real quick the A, B, and C, the prefix. And so these right here are designed to sit in front of your category name. And the reason being so is that some campaigns are associated with specific funnels. And so you might have funnels that are top of funnel, middle of funnel campaigns, and you might have campaigns that are bottom of funnel. And as you know, I'm a digital marketer certified partner. So I've pulled this right from a digital marketer certified training that covers the type of content that usually falls under top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. And so the takeaway here is this, is that if we have a campaign that is a top of funnel campaign, we are going to put a prefix in the name of that campaign category, and it's going to be A period. And that's going to identify that that campaign sits at the top of a funnel. And if we have a campaign that is middle of funnel, we are going to label it inside of Campaign Builder with a capital B and a period. And the same thing with bottom of funnel campaigns. And so this is a list here of, if you're wondering, hey, is this campaign, should this be a top of funnel campaign or middle of funnel? Well, there's a little bit of room for interpretation there for you, because each person's ecosystem and the way that their funnel is designed will be slightly different. But this is just a useful chart for you to kind of look in case you're wondering, hey, should this be a top of funnel, middle of funnel? This is going to be useful. And of course, the prefixes, so you can see A is associated with top, B is middle of funnel, and C is bottom of funnel campaign categorization. So let's take a look at how we should label the campaigns. And so I've got a couple examples here showing that showing our campaign category strategy and also implementing our campaign naming syntax. And so I've labeled it here in order. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Sorry. There we go. Label it in order. So 1 is in order, sequential order that it should come, 2, 3, all the way down to 5. And you'll notice here that I say for the first thing that needs to be labeled is the funnel location, which for this example, I've got a top of funnel campaign category, and therefore it should be labeled with an A. We also then need to have the campaign category name, and for this happens to be delivery. And then 3 is the type of content or action, and this is infograph, and then the name of the content inside. And for this example, I'm actually labeling out the example of giving the example of this training right now. This is campaign categorization, and then date. And so the reason why you want, and by the way, right here, all this right here is what you would name your campaign. Okay, so if you're thinking about Infusionsoft, this is actually how you would name your campaign. And the reason why that we have date here at the end is because for some campaigns, they're good for a year and you don't have to worry about updating them. But at a certain point in time, you might want to update the piece of content. And so for this example, it might be an infographic. And so using Infusionsoft, and if I get out of here and I show you an example. So this right here is actually an example of what I'm talking about, is how you would name campaigns. A is the prefix, the campaign category right here in all caps, and then the type of content right here. See, it says type of content. And this right here, this example is a lead magnet. And then the name of content or the campaign, this right here would be annual marketing strategy blueprint. Now, say for this example right here that I'm showing you, this annual marketing strategy blueprint, well, if I've designed it once, it probably doesn't need to be updated except for once a year. I should probably go in there and make some changes to it. And so you'll notice that Infusionsoft has a publish date in a campaign, which would be over here to the right. And publish date, we don't want to follow that. And the reason being is because you might have to go inside to the campaign and you might have to update it, maybe change the web form a little bit or change some copy and email and then republish it. And that campaign might say publish date of September 18th. And that doesn't mean that you updated the piece of collateral or the asset inside of that campaign. It just means that's the last time that campaign was published. And so that's why if we use, going back to my example here of putting in a date, that will be a great indication for you to know when you're looking through your campaign to say, oh, you know what? Last time I updated that piece of content inside of there was September 2nd. I should actually go in there. I should take a look at that piece of content. And so what you're going to see here is that by using this naming convention and syntax with the categories, that we're actually going to be able to extract a lot more detail and information from our campaign builder just in the way that we've named it. So let's use another example here. So right here, you'll notice here that there's no funnel location. So that means that this campaign is not associated with a funnel location, middle, top, or bottom. But we do have a campaign category name, which is rapport. The type of content or the action is after purchase, and the name of the content is customer NPS, or Net Promoter Score. And then we've got one more example here. And this is a holiday campaign. So it's categorized under holiday. The type of action is a flash sale. And the name of content or the campaign is Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And we know here that we've dated this campaign for 2016 here. And so that gives us the ability to look at that. So a year from now, we can come back to this holiday campaign and say, yep, the last time we updated that was a year ago. So we need to go in there and we need to look at the copy and we need to look at the assets to make sure that are they still relevant or do they need to be updated? Okay, so now once we have the campaign category set up, what you're going to notice here is that when you go inside of Infusionsoft and inside the campaign builder, is once you've labeled everything and then you click on this name right here, what will happen is it'll sort everything by alphabetical order. And look how beautiful your campaign builder will end up looking. It'll give you everything in exact order. And the other beautiful thing is you'll notice here is that it's going to give you the order of your funnels, your campaigns in your funnels. So everything that's top of funnel will be organized and sit at the top. Your middle of funnel stuff right here will sit in the middle, and bottom of funnel will sit there. And the other powerful thing is that you'll be able to see active numbers throughout here. So you're going to get a quick glance and a snapshot of actually looking at everything inside of your campaign builder without having to click into each campaign. And you're going to know exactly where this campaign is located, the category of the campaign, what the kind of content is in there, and the specific type of campaign that it's running. So, it's a top of funnel campaign. It's focused on marketing. It's a lead magnet, and the lead magnet is an annual marketing strategy blueprint. And then you'll be able to see how many people are actually in there. And you'll see everything throughout here of how many people are in the top of funnel, how many people are in your middle of funnel campaigns, and how many are in the bottom of funnel. And so that's pretty powerful. It's taking Infusionsoft's campaign builder and taking the extracting the power that sits inside of those campaigns and giving it to you in an organized, visible fashion right out front in front of you, without having to go through, click through, or pay for any kind of expensive dashboards, even though I think the dashboards are really awesome. But if you don't want to have that integration, you don't want to pay for a service with dashboards, this is not a perfect solution for you, but this is a pretty good solution to people not knowing or not being able to find everything that's in their Infusionsoft across their entire system. So this is an answer to that. Okay, so hopefully you've got the basics here of what we've covered so far, how we categorize our campaigns inside of Campaign Builder, the naming convention that we do, or the syntax of how we place the order and name of the campaigns, and then how, by doing so, what that provides us, the insight and the organization inside of the Campaign Builder, and how that all comes together and works. So if you'll allow me, what I'd like to do is I'd like to move into the tag campaign strategy now, or the protocol. And so the one thing is when we get into the tag campaign category protocols, or the naming conventions and syntax, is it's identical. So everything that I've taught you thus far is the same thing. Literally, it's the same thing. The way that you're gonna have category set up is almost identical. The naming convention and the syntax, the order of how you're gonna label the names of the tags themselves, identical strategy. Okay, So I'm not going to go through and cover all of that because we just did. So I'm going to get right into the tag categories that I think you should have. The first right here is delivery. And the reason why I think you should have delivery is all the tags that sit under delivery specifically should be used for the delivery of products and courses, okay? Do not contact should be a tag category, and that's for custom opt-outs. And for those of you that understand what custom opt-outs are, that's awesome. You get it. It should be sitting under a category name of do not contact. For those of you who are wondering, well, what is a custom opt-out? I'll give you a real quick example. So if you've got, say, a product launch campaign and it's got an aggressive email timeline, it's sending out an email every single day for the next 10 days, for a build-up to get people excited about this new product launch. Well, if you don't have a custom opt-out for them, what's going to happen is that person's going to be left with no other choice that if they don't want to get these emails, that they're going to opt out of your entire list. And so you don't want people to basically have to opt out of your entire list just because you've put them into an aggressive campaign sequence. So what you want to do is you want to create a custom opt-out so they can opt out only of that campaign sequence, but they're not opting out of your entire list. And so that would be done with a tag, and that would also fall under the category of do not contact. The next campaign category should be functional, and that's used to start or stop campaigns, also for recurring loops for automation. And so that's what I think you should label that category as, is functional. And those are your trigger campaigns, okay? So other people use trigger category, but I want to stay away from using the same letter for multiple campaign categories, so that's why I call it functional. I think it serves just as efficient as a purpose. The next is global. Global tag category names should be associated with global operations. So we talked about this, and you'll notice that this kind of mirrors, or actually not kind of, but absolutely mirrors our campaign category names. So where appropriate, we're going to have tag category names that match up to campaign category names. And so for the global tag categories, that'll be global operations such as contact us forms, HTTP posts for whatever reason if you have tags associated with that, and any kind of integrations, and of course your indoctrination sequence. Gratis. Gratis means free. So gratis categories for your tags is for anything that you're comping someone. So if you have digital products, if you have online courses, and you want the ability to identify someone who's been provided with a free product or service, then they should be identified with a tag that they've been comped this product, and that tag should sit under their category of gratis. Membership tag categories. This is specific for membership access if you have online courses, and it's specific for permission levels. So if you have an online course and you drip course content, so each week they have a new module unlocked, it should sit under the membership category, tag category. And also if you have a God permission or an admin permission that gives global access to everything in your online courses, that should sit under there too. Nurture tags are associated with long-term nurture. Nurture tag category name are associated with tags that are associated with your long-term nurture campaigns and newsletters. Operation tag categories. This is used for administrative purposes, including like failed payments. If you've got some kind of unique internal tracking that you have tags for, or in-house automation for campaigns of, hey, tag use this internal tag to notify Susie to do this, and then fire off these emails over to Susie in accounting or whatever. So that those kind of tags should sit under the category name of operations. Pipeline tag category name. For any of you that have sales pipelines that are designed with tags, or you have automation that's associated with your pipeline, that should all sit under the tag category of pipeline. Purchase tag category names, that is for products. If anyone's buying anything, they should be tagged with a purchase category and then the name of that product. So purchase category, and then it would be digital ebook, or 7-day course to learn, how to mow your lawn, whatever. Rapport category follows tags that should be customer service related, net promoter score, NPS, social media, testimonial request. That's all rapport tag categories. Sales tag categories, again, specific to campaigns and funnels that specifically are focused on tags that sell. Segmentation category for your tags. Segmentation is if you want to segment out your database, and I'll give you just a couple quick examples of that. If you have a database and you want to track to see, hey, do people that have a Gmail address open my emails more often than people that have a Yahoo email address? Well, you can actually sort by that, sort and then segment your database based off people that have Gmail addresses and Yahoo addresses, and then you're going to want to tag them with a tag. And so you're going to use the segmentation category, and then of course your tag name would be Gmail address or Yahoo address. And so you can start to segment. Another example of segmenting your database and using the segmentation tag category would be if you want to do a launch. Say, for example, you're going to launch a Black Friday sale, and you're going to launch it on Thursday on Thanksgiving at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you want everybody in the United States to get that email at Thursday at 4 o'clock. You don't want people to get it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast and 4 p.m. on the East Coast because there's time differences. You want everyone to get it at the exact same time. Well, then you would segment your database based off of time zones, and then you would make sure that those tags associated with them would sit and live under the category of segmentation. Okay. The next tag category is source. That's used for tracking lead sources. That's also beneficial if you've got heavy hitter referral partners or affiliate partners that you want to have specific tags associated with. And so that would sit under the source tag category. We've got two more. Tracking. Tracking is really used for reporting and specific behaviors. You can also use the name of reporting. But my little 2 cents here is I think that reporting isn't as broad as a term as tracking is. So tracking can be associated with reporting of something, but tracking could also be associated with someone opened the email, someone clicked the link. And so you might not want to create a report about that, but you might want to track it for an action that then rolls up into a more detailed action that you do want to report on. I probably just lost you there, and that's okay. My point is, and I was kind of veering off there, is that you can use the word reporting if you feel more comfortable as creating that as a tag category, but I think tracking is a more globally broader term, and therefore any tags that are associated with reporting or any kind of tags associated with a behavior should fall under the category labeled as tracking. The final thing is a tag category for training. You probably might not use this, but I create trainings, and so I have categories labeled, I have a category labeled as training, and the tags associated inside of those trainings, for me specifically, I have that set aside, which is different. Okay? So that's it. So let's take a look at the tag naming convention and the syntax of how you're going to set up your tag names. And you'll notice I have right here a 0, and that's because we know that inside of Infusionsoft that once you associate a tag with a category, the category name immediately comes in front of the tag when we're looking at it in the system. So that's why the category name is 0. And so for this example, the tag category name is purchase. The funnel location, we're labeling it as A. So it's top of funnel tag associated with a campaign that is delivery. And the type of content is an infograph. And the name of the actual infograph is campaign categorization. And so that's a pretty detailed example. We certainly don't have to be, and to be honest with you, I really don't think your tags will ever be this detailed, but I wanted to show you a pretty detailed tag category name. I don't know why I just changed, sorry. Pretty detailed tag category name. So if you wanted to see as deep as you want to go, how you might want to set up that tag name. But this is something more that you're going to probably use, something way more simple is this, is tag category name is global, and the campaign category is indoctrination sequence, and the type of content is they completed the indoctrination. And if you're familiar with using a global indoctrination sequence, you know that it's crucial to tag and track. Those are the people that have actually finished your indoctrination sequence. And the reason being is because you don't want them to go back into that and go through the indoctrination again, because your indoctrination campaign is only supposed to run once. And so it's crucial that we have a tag set up for that in reporting to let us know that this person has finished that action. And then a very simple example is a purchase tag. So the category name is purchase, and the name of the content is that this person bought this product, the deluxe consulting package. And so you'll see how simple and easy, and this right here, this bottom example, is probably what you're going to end up using on a regular basis. You don't have to get that detailed up top. Now, I promised you that I was going to get inside of Infusionsoft and show you exactly how that's going to look. And so let's do so real fast. And so this is a sandbox application for Infusionsoft. It's basically a demo account. But what you're going to see here is you're going to see, and let me just zoom in a little bit. And I'll zoom in just a little bit more. And so this is probably what your Infusionsoft campaign looks like. You've got some campaigns here that aren't published. You've got some ones that are published, and you've got a bunch of different names. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. You don't know what's what. I mean, you could look at the name here and you could say, okay, this is an email sales campaign. Well, what the heck is it? What is it associated with? This is a free trial software. Does this campaign sit at the top of my funnel or bottom of my funnel? And this thing over here, okay, New Year's strategy, all right. I don't know exactly what all this stuff is, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And so that's kind of the gist here. And so let's implement the strategy that I've just taught you. So let's say right here, just download this thing. Well, I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's a lead magnet. Let's click on it. And so I've got things zoomed in a lot for you, but so don't worry about what's inside the campaign for all intents and purposes. The example here is I want to show you what it's going to look like to rename our campaigns, and then the end result of how that's going to function. So let's just say this is a top of funnel, and we know that's going to be an A, and then we know that also this is a lead magnet, so we're also going to label it as marketing, because marketing, we're not selling them anything yet, and that it is a lead magnet, so I'm going to label it as such. And so we've got here A, top of funnel. The category of the campaign is marketing. What's happening in this campaign is that it is a lead magnet. That's the description of the action or the content, and then the name of what that lead magnet is download this thing. And I've put a date in here, and the reason why I put a date in there is because I think it's important that once a year I go and I make sure that the asset in this lead magnet is still relevant. And so right here, you'll see for this example, this published date says it was published in August, but that the actual asset for this, let's just say for this example, we went in and updated this lead magnet, right? And we updated it on the 16th of September. Well, this publish date is inaccurate, and you can see the difference between and the importance of why, if you've got something that's time sensitive, that you're going to want to add the date right into the campaign name. Okay, so this is a completed campaign category name, and you'll see how much more information we're able to extract just out of the name versus things like this, right? So let's continue on. And so we've got a demo here. And let's go back real fast. And I've got here, I've got my my example here that I've provided to you. And looking at my PDF is I've got here, where's a demo? Oh yeah, okay, all right. So a demo right here is a free trial. Demo or a free trial is a bottom of funnel, and that's labeled C. Okay, cool. All right, so we know that. So let's go over here. Let's rename this. We know this is a bottom of funnel, so we're going to do C period. We know this is marketing, and we know that it's actually labeled correctly. It is a demo, and what that demo is a 21-day free 21-day challenge. So we're going to save that. Let's go back to campaign, and let's okay, free trial. We know a free trial is also a bottom of funnel. That's a C. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say C marketing, and this is a free trial, and this is what it is it is software. All right, cool. Test pipeline. We know that looking back at our example over here is that if we say pipeline, where should pipeline be? Well, for you, pipeline you could have as global, or you could have it, if it's a tag-based sales, it could sit under your sales. I think that it should be global because we only have one pipeline for this example. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name this global. This is a system-wide campaign that is based off of a pipeline. Email sales campaign. Well, we know what that is. We know that's a sales campaign. So let's go ahead and let's rename this. And this is a sales campaign. Cool. All right, we're trucking right along. You'll notice this is not hard. So if you want to rename your campaigns, you'll notice that this is actually, it's not going to take you that much time. And so right here, the name of this campaign is a CrossFit 4th of July sale. Well, we know right off the bat that 4th of July is a holiday, and we know that our campaign needs to be associated with a holiday categorization. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Old web form. Old web form. That means that it is not being used anymore, and therefore it should be labeled under the category of vault. All right. Lead magnet. Test campaigns. Okay, so we know that this is a top of funnel. We know it is a marketing campaign. And what is it? It's a lead magnet. It's already labeled, and this says test campaign. Okay, cool. And okay, so we've got here YouTube Evergreen webinar. This is actually a training. This is actually a training from a blog I did. So we're going to rename this, and this is a training. So this falls under the training category. And then we've got one final one. And the final one here is a New Year's. Well, we know that's a holiday. So let's go ahead, let's rename this right here. Holiday. Cool. All right, so we've labeled all of our campaigns in this test. And so now, looking through here, let's see. Okay, well, not everything's organized, so we're going to come over here and we're going to click this name right here, and then it's going to give us alphabetical order. Boom. And so using this example, watch and notice here how clean this is. Here's our top of funnel campaigns right here. Here's our bottom of funnel campaigns. Our holiday campaigns are are associated and categorized. And look how clean that is compared to what it looked like before. It's completely organized. We've got our vault, retired, our inactive campaign sitting at the bottom. And you'll see the power of having that and using that. So with that being said, we're at the end of the training. So like I said, the blog post right here walks you through everything. So by all means, go through, read the blog post. If you're watching this video, make sure to read the blog post. The blog post always has more granular details. And then make sure, if you want, I think it's probably going to be one of the most beneficial things is if you get the PDF. And at the bottom of the PDF here, and this is the last thing we're going to cover, and I also have it actually at the bottom of my blog here, is if you have questions, and I'm sure some of you will have some questions in the end, and that's perfectly fine when you're implementing this, is make sure to watch the video. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you have watched the video. Read the blog post. Blog post, usually I leave out details in a video, or vice versa. I'll leave out videos and I'll leave out little details in the blog post. So the training, the written training and the video training all have unique content in them. So make sure you glance through both of those. If you have a basic question, by all means, I'd love to be able to help you. So if you have a basic question, make sure you like my Facebook page here, and then message me. And you'll notice right in my blog post, there is a comment section that's tied to Facebook. And so you can leave a message there, and I will do my best to answer your question for you. If you want more one-on-one personal assistance, by all means, take advantage of the fact that I offer a free consultation. And so by all means, schedule your free consultation. It's 30 minutes for free with yours truly, and I'll be more than happy to walk through this with you as well as anything else. So with that being said, that's it. We've got everything covered. If you have any questions, by all means, shoot me. Like I said, shoot me a note down here, right here. You'll notice I've got a Facebook comment section. You can schedule your free meeting. If you found value for this, share it with associates and colleagues, and leave me a comment. Let me know if you liked it, you found this valuable. I hope it was valuable. Thanks so much for listening, and until next month, have a great time, and I wish you great success. Take care.